What's going on, guys? It's Noble here, and I welcome you to the second episode of this Last2First series that I started only, I think it was last week. So yeah, that seemed to have got a good response, so looking forward to carrying on with this week's episode. As you can see, we're kicking things off again at everyone's favourite sprint race circuit, Monza. Looks like a pretty full grid. It's actually been quite a while since I recorded this footage, and I'm only now just putting commentary over it, so I can't really recall what happened through, I think it's most 3 races I'm doing for this week's episode. So yeah, it should be a laugh as we go through it. And see, we're starting at the back, which is nice, not having to let anyone through, so we can concentrate on making up positions as quickly as possible, which we get off to a pretty good start, making up, 3 positions already. So yeah, coming down into turn 1, we've got cars all over the place. We're going to take things nice and slow as a car goes flying in there, but thankfully for everyone ahead, he ghosts. We've got, I think that was a Marussia spinning on the apex of turn 1, and we exit turn 2 in, well, we're still in 11th place, so not making up too many positions there. So we're really going to have to fight for some positions later on in the race, as we've got some cars all bumping off each other coming down this right-handed curve as we exit the, ooh, wow. Spinning off to the left ahead of us there as we enter this second chicane. The Lotus pulling off a pretty nice move around the outside of that chicane. We now go up the inside of him. We're 3 wide, I think. We're gonna try and hold our position on the inside. Bit of contact there, but we've managed to get through it okay. I'm pretty sure I was entitled to carry on and keep that position, as I was well more than half a car length up his inside. So yeah, I think that was a fair move. Just unfortunate that a bit of contact happened between those two. But yeah, coming down towards the Sky for the first lap, and we are in 6th place, so we've already lost 2 drivers, but we're now halfway through the field. As we come down towards the parabolic, and there's a lot of contact ahead. There's a Williams, I think that was on its roll hoop somehow, which is quite hysterical, as we then pick off another 2 cars on the run to Parabolica as we have a good run. The 2 cars ahead of us having a bit of contact, and we've managed to, well, find our way through the middle of both of them. Through the middle of Parabolica, and we crossed the line for the end of the first lap in 1st place, which is a bit of a shock. Didn't expect that, to be completely honest, but there we are, not going to complain. So braking for turn 1 now, hoping this guy doesn't hit us, and yep, you guessed it, there is the contact, and we've got a few other cars as well, straight line in turn 1 and turn 2. So we're now down to P2, the Mercedes lets us back through into 1st place. And yeah, I think a new format I was doing for this video will be that instead of like you now watching a lap and a half of me driving about on my own, I'm going to cut the video, or cut this race short to the end, or the final sector of the last lap, so you don't have to watch me driving about doing not a lot interesting. So yeah, as you can see, the final lap now, the final sector, you can see via the mini-map we've got a pretty healthy lead as we come down towards the Parabolica, probably one of the most famous corners in the F1 calendar after Eau Rouge and the likes of that. Enjoyable corner, that one, as we exit it nicely and cleanly as we drive towards the line to take the first victory of this episode. So, the second race, we are at Malaysia. We are starting in P5 out of 10, so we're going to have to pull off to the side and let a few cars through on the run down to turn 1. Hopefully no one will be stupid enough to crash into us as we pull off to the side. There's a guy who's pretty reluctant to pass us, but there we go. There's 2 actually, but yeah, we're down to last place now, so we're going to carry on as we normally would. Trying to go around the outside of this Toro Rosso there, but he sort of hung us out to drive it. We get the cut. We managed to hold around the outside and take the inside for turn 2. Bit of contact there as he sort of tried to turn in on our car as we were up his inside, but that was never going to work. So we've managed to make up. There looked like there's a bit of contact between more cars on the inside there that we sort of just about missed, and we've managed to get up to P5 already. So as we exit this corner, we're going to use a bit of curves, and I think we're going to go around the outside. Oh wow, we are actually going to go around the outside with 2 cars through that turn. Wow, okay. Sure, why not? And now we're up to P3 behind this German driver in the Force India. He's got a bit of a wiggle on there, and he's driving pretty slowly through the apex of that second right-hander, which has allowed the Williams behind us to go up our inside. We're going to back out of that one and get the cut back on both of them on the exit of the hairpin. They're still on my right hand side. There's a bit of contact with the Force India. He's nudged us wide, and then we're going to let them go on the inside again and get the cut back once more and get the move done on both of them nicely and cleanly. So now up to P2 as we come into this penultimate corner. Hopefully the leader might make a bit of a mistake, but nope, it's actually us who's made a mistake. Brilliant. So yeah, that hasn't helped massively, but we're going to hope that our 1-1 wing setup will gain us a lot of time down this straight and the next straight, and it looks to be doing so, as you can see the gap visually closing as we enter the final corner. Trying to get a good exit, the leader having a bit of trouble it looks like, and we've really got underneath his rear wing now as we cross the line to start the second lap. He doesn't look to have the best straight line speed as he tries to pin us against the wall, but we're already more than half a car length alongside, which means he can do nothing about that move. And yeah, we managed to spot our braking point for turn 1 and we've got the move done. Just trying to hold it through turn 2 now. You see his arrow still in close proximity through turn 2, but as we exit the corner it seems to have disappeared. And he's not in a position to overtake us for the next corner. So yep, we now skip to the final sector on the final lap. We exit that difficult right-hander and there's only 3 corners to go on this final lap, and now make that 2 into this difficult trail braking right-hander for the penultimate corner, as we then exit that nicely and power our way down towards the final corner, where it doesn't look like the cars behind are close enough to make a desperate lunge, so we just need to get around this corner as cleanly as possible and as smoothly as possible to take the victory in this second race. And we've dipped a wheel into the gravel there, but we'll all get over that one eventually. As we move on to the final race, which is at Brazil, and we are in a Marussia, and we are starting in 3rd place, and there's a full 15 cars on the grid, so we're going to have a big deal of letting all these cars through before turn 1, but we just about manage it, and we can now continue on our way and watch as there's many a car facing many a direction as we come through turns 1 and 2. A couple of cars off the track on the right as the McLaren nearly runs us off the road, but we managed to get around his outside through turn 3 and up into P7. Hopefully he's not going to lunge us. Please don't lunge us. Please, oh you prick. Yeah, he's lunged us and we are now well off the track and he's gained that position on us. So we're back down to P8 now. There's 2 guys or 1 guy looks to have quit already, which is a good showing from him. This guy looks like he's got a bit wide. We've got a good run on him coming out of that corner. We're going to dive up his inside, and thankfully he hasn't turned in, as that would have probably caused quite a big collision and we would have most definitely got a penalty for causing that. But yeah, thankfully we got away with that lunge and we are up into P7. Coming down this downhill left-hander towards the end of the second sector. We've still got all our curves, so we may be able to make an impression on the cars ahead of us into turn 1 on the second lap. But unless they have a half decent setup on, that isn't going to be a possibility, and yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get close enough into turn 1, even in sprint mode. Funnily enough, you always think you're close enough into turn 1 to make a move on someone in sprint mode, but more often than not it goes horribly wrong. As you can see, there's already a lot of carnage. We've even hit the car ahead because we're not paying attention. But we've made up 2 positions, as 2 cars that were ahead of us have ended up in the wall at turn 1 and 2. That Red Bull's let us through for some reason, which we're gonna accept. 2 cars ahead making more contact, and once again we've nudged the car ahead as we're not paying attention. Again, the 2 cars ahead making more contact, and we get past them this time up into P2, as the Red Bull behind us looking like he's going to make an impression on us through the sequence of corners, but instead it's the HRT ahead who's making all the impressions, as he's made a mistake and we very nearly collide with the back of his car, locking up into that right-hander but avoiding him just about. He's gone defensive into this right-hander, and which has led to him going wide, and we've got the undercut on him, and we've managed to get a good exit and power pass down this left-hander into the final sector. The proximity arrow coming into display there, but it looks like him and the car in 3rd had a bit of a moment, which has given us some breathing space for this home stretch as we come up to start the final lap. We're going to hope that no proximity arrows come into view into turn 1, especially in the braking zones. We all know what's going to happen. No, must be my lucky day, as nobody's appeared up my inside in that braking zone, and that signifies the end of the action as we cut to the final sector of the final lap. Just powering up the hill now using all our curves. The cars behind not in a position to make any impression on us as we drive to the line to take the 3rd victory of this episode and the final victory of this episode. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it means a lot. So yeah, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and it's bye for now.